Yo guys, I'm just changing my hero. Let's go soda. Alright. Yeah. Hi. Today in today's bullshit rant, I'm going to talk about why open source slash free. It's not just open source, but like open source slash free software is just superior to paid software. I'm gonna bring up a few examples. They'll probably be on the thumbnail, just like catch your attention, because like, the video I talked about ThinkPads performed pretty well. I'm like, okay, fine. People like to hear me talk about this bullshit. I just thought I was gonna make a separate YouTube channel for it, but guess what? I actually got to like, I guess I'm getting some success of just talking about it just randomly here. So we'll go for that. So first thing, it's free. Alright, I think we should understand that it's literally free. I don't know what you lose, but it's literally free. So I don't get why you would not just get that. What also one thing is that you don't even own the software. You can't own any software. You just own a license to it, a digital license or whatever bullshit. So, but if you really want premium tools, I'd say just well, I can't say that word on YouTube. I'll probably get like banned. But let's say borrow it off the internet. Okay, let's say you borrow the, the software of the internet. I promise you'll be much happier. But that's kind of hard, and it's also kind of illegal. So yeah, no, that's where free software comes in. Alright, now second point, it's usually not owned by big corporations. Usually, is what I'm saying. Usually, there's some examples like DaVinci Resolve, which are owned by big corporations, but it's so powerful and free that why would you ever change? Like, I think DaVinci Resolve is the best free video editor out there. It rivals Premiere Pro. And also, if you're used to the workflow Premiere Pro, well, I mean that's kind of your fault. Because the thing is, people keep on saying the reason I don't use Premiere Pro, the reason I don't use DaVinci Resolve, the reason I don't use other like free video editors, is because they're not used to the workflow. But I ask you, right? Whose choice was it that you wanted to use these tools and actually pay for these tools before considering free options? Like, okay, if you use DaVinci Resolve, you didn't like it, and then you paid for Premiere Pro, I would not blame you. I understand that. Okay, you didn't like DaVinci Resolve, but if the reason you don't like DaVinci Resolve is because you paid for Premiere Pro, like that's actually so dumb. Like honestly, I've used Premiere Pro. I have a free license in my school, and even then, I still choose to use DaVinci Resolve. And here's reason number two. Fuck, bro. I just okay the wrong path. Sorry. Reason number two. Since it's not from a big corporation, it most likely won't install a bunch of telemetry onto your computer. So, like, you know how? Let me take another example here. Microslop. Yes, that's what we're calling them. Microslop. Not Microsoft. No, that name went away like in 2015 when before Windows 10. Yeah. Oh, hey, the golden balloon. I guess I'll get it. Oh, no, I can't get it. That's sad. But yeah. So Microsoft loves telemetry. They love to steal data. They're obsessed with, in fact, that some telemetry as per Windows is required. It's not optional. No, it's required. I'm not even joking. If you load up a Windows installation today, which I would never do that. But if you had to, you literally see that it says required telemetry. Who the fuck requires telemetry? Nobody requires it. It's a thing for, it's might be improving your product, but if Microsoft, sorry, if they actually improve the product, I won't even be that mad about telemetry. But yo, they've been adding some random ass AI bullshit. Like, I think we all know the little fucking, what do you call it? The controversy about Copilot. And yes, I am not in support of Copilot at all. Okay, I don't care. I hate Copilot, bro. I don't know I don't get how anybody uses Copilot, bro. Like genuinely. Fuck. Like it's actually a pain to use Copilot. I'm not even joking. Like not just to use Copilot, but also have like all your system resources occupied by it because like okay, it just decided it wants to be in a computer. No, it's not a choice. It's like it has to be in your computer. It's like Siri, but so much worse, bro. Why would you even use like Copilot, bro? So yeah, that's not the only thing, obviously, but obviously in macOS, again, Siri does also steal your data if you don't turn it off. And even if you do turn it off, I'm pretty sure it still tracks your data. Again, I haven't used macOS that much. I've done a recent hackintosh on my ThinkPad, which yes will be a topic of discussion later on. Uh, while I'm doing YouTube and stuff, I will definitely talk. Oh, let's go. We got two monkey money, but I will definitely talk about how cool a hackintosh is. I installed macOS Catalina on my ThinkPad. Uh, I'm doing a triple boot with Windows, Archcraft, and Catalina. It's amazing. Uh, but that's a topic for another day. Uh, so yeah. So obviously you got on the other hand you got Chad Linux, which doesn't take telemetry unless you install Ubuntu. But Ubuntu is like the Windows of Linux. So I don't know why you in your right mind you would install Ubuntu like in this day and age. Okay, maybe in 2020 it is cool, but they have optional telemetry, but I mean it's just not as good. It's not as lightweight. It's not as customizable as other because yes, Linux is customizable, but on other distros like even Linux Mint, I think is just so much easier to customize. Why would you not just use Linux Mint? Genuinely, it Linux Mint is just a more evolved Ubuntu because Ubuntu was great when Linux was like a thing for I guess nerds and people who didn't like know how to use Linux. It was great for them, but Linux has become so mainstream now that no, I support it becoming mainstream. I'm not trying to say like oh it became niche. I was the first one to use it before. No, I'm not gonna say any bullshit like that. I'm glad Linux has become mainstream. I'm so happy that distributions like Mint and Zorin OS have become mainstream because the world's evolving. Like Microsoft cannot. It has to. It's stopping now. Like it's actually halting. They've lost over 5 million users, which in the grand scheme of things may not sound like a lot, but I mean Linux is literally more popular than Mac OS. Mac OS is the second most popular operating system, and Linux is just Steam OS, Bazite, Kashi OS. Like obviously thanks to Steam Deck and the upcoming Steam machine, yes, Linux is obviously going to be much more popular. But in the Steam hardware survey, Linux is actually more popular than Mac OS, which is a huge step. Alright. Now the third reason is again, as I said, you own it's a license, you don't actually own it. But okay, I already said that. But the third reason is open source is so much better than big corporate. Now, okay, let's put aside DaVinci Resolve here. It's just free and it's good. Okay, there's very few like software. There's very few software in life that is good, free, and open source. Okay, it's very hard to get all three. There's very rare cases of this stuff. So I'm not saying that DaVinci Resolve is open source. I'm not dumb, but st- like people be talking about warranty. We can't have warranty. Now I'm talking about customer support. People be talking about customer support and stuff like that for like that's why big corporations make better software apparently because they have better support. But let me ask you this, right? How many times have you actually googled a problem on Windows versus Linux, or let's say on GIMP? Okay, yes, I'm bringing GIMP into the conversation now instead of Photoshop. It's not nearly as good as Photoshop, I can say that. You can also use Affinity. Affinity is not open source, but Affinity is great. So I think Affinity, like if you want to use Affinity or GIMP instead of Photoshop, you'll actually find that people post much more on forums and stuff about well specifically GIMP because GIMP is open source. It's under the GNU license. It's in the name. GNU image manipulation program. I love GIMP so much. I use Affinity now, but GIMP used to be my daily driver. Uh, I mean, you'd find much more responses about bugs and stuff like that on GIMP forums than you would on Photoshop forums, because Photoshop forums don't even exist. When was the last time you seen a Photoshop forum, or like maybe Reddit, but you've never seen actual dedicated forums? Let's be honest, and that to me is much more important, because having community support to me is much more important than having company support. Because company support, they promise you so many things, they promise you 24/7 support, but when was realistically the last time you actually got like 24/7 support from a company? Like they respond to all of your calls, because you can look up forum posts anytime, any day of the week. They're never gonna go away. It's the internet. But uh, mm, like employees won't be there all the time, and even those shitty AI things, don't even get me started in that. But even the shitty AI agents they've put in these things now still suck. Like the AI automation things. If you ever seen one of them, they suck. They suck a lot. And I just think community forums are a much better way to go than relying on company support. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. I'll give you some alternatives. If you're using Photoshop, if you're using Photoshop, Premiere Pro, the Adobe Suite, use use DaVinci Resolve and Affinity. It will change your life. Those aren't open source, but they're still they're free, and they work. They have much less telemetry than Adobe. Cause I swear to God, getting Adobe like off my thing, like off my laptop, took so long because of Adobe Creative Cloud just being such absolute bloatware. I know if you had Adobe Creative Cloud on your laptop or your PC before, you know that Adobe Creative Cloud just never stops. You disable it and everything, but it just never stops trying to update. And once I got off, it was amazing. It really deep loaded my computer. If you obviously, I am an amazing advocate for Linux with the old ThinkPad. Also, just to little clarify, you don't have to exactly get a ThinkPad if you can't find a ThinkPad in your price range. Any old laptop with a functioning battery should do. I think the battery is the most important part of it. It doesn't really matter what hardware you have. Even a hard drive could work. I mean, I have hard drive on my Hackintosh. Uh, and I have a hard drive on my Hackintosh. I have a hard drive on that. What do you call it? Oh shit. Yeah, I have a hard drive for Archcraft. That's what I keep my triple boot setup on, and it works great. It works awesome. Uh, but yeah, it's not really about the hardware. It's more about just have the battery. And as for other alternatives, I'd say, well, instead of instead of Office 365, I'd say use LibreOffice. Yes, I know OneDrive is the thing, but LibreOffice doesn't bloat your thing. So I've actually used LibreOffice on Manjaro, and it's surprisingly good. I like it a lot. So I would much rather use that. If you know any other open source alternatives, or you want to like debate with me about why open source is bad, my big corp is so much better, well, I'd be happy to debate you in the comments about that. I'm like the Charlie Kirk of like technology. Yeah, no, Charlie Kirk was not a good person, but yeah, no, I'm like the Charlie Kirk of that. I'd be happy to debate you. I have a lot of opinions, and until next time, bye. I talked some absolute nonsense, but you guys liked the first video, so yeah, bye guys.